and ex-police officer Norman Brennan. Norman, do you think that Cressida resigning was the right thing to do?
Well, she had no choice. Cressida Dick became the story. I've followed policing and law and order for 43 years, 31 years as a London officer. So I know about policing, and I also know about pressures put on chief officers of police. Now, London, like any other capital city in the world, has its issues, and it has many issues. We've got diverse issues across London in relation to street robberies, burglaries, terrorism, and all the other crimes you would expect in a major city. And Cressida Dick is at the top of the tree. Some of these incidents are where frontline officers have made mistakes, and very serious mistakes, and at certain times, crimes. Now, the obsession of rushing new recruits through by the Home Office to fit criteria, and the reduction of 4,000 officers 10 years ago by the government cuts, has almost put the Metropolitan Police on life support. It cannot cope. And every incident that comes to light, the national media, mainstream media, blame Cressida Dick. Yes, she is the chief, but there are many people that have made mistakes under her command, which she was not aware of. And I think she's been bullied out of office for no more that she became the story. And she became the story because the national media and those that sadly hate her, I'd use that strong word, have almost won the day. And they've got rid of a pretty good chief of police for the Metropolitan Police.
I mean, is the problem here? What we've heard a lot today is people talking about the culture in the Metropolitan Police Force. And frankly, whoever's in charge is going to take a huge shake-up to try and get rid of a culture which may, in fact, just be a product of ever coarsening values in society.
Well, the police are the public are the police. We haven't got robo-cops on the streets of London or the streets of Britain that never make a mistake. That somebody on a tube station with a sweat on their forehead is because it's a hot tube and not a terrorist. Police officers make split-second decisions. And you go right back when you introduced this item about John Charles de Menze. Well, London had just been under a terrorist attack a week or so beforehand. We were on the highest of alerts, and officers, men and women that were armed, honestly believed that the person that they shot was a terrorist. It was an honest belief. The Met do not go round killing people and assaulting people for no reason at all. Yes, on the odd occasion, they will get it wrong. And so long as we apologise and make sure it doesn't happen again, that's the right way forward. But what it has been...
Is the problem not here that everyone, I think, understands that that was a tragic killing and that it was certainly not intentional, but thereafter followed a bit of a Met Police cover-up? And is that not the problem, that when the Met Police are found to have made mistakes, it's the response to those mistakes that is deemed inadequate, and that is potentially why now Cressida Dick has been forced to resign?
Well, I didn't see any cover-up at the time, and I spoke to one of the officers that knew all of the officers involved, and I knew Cressida Dick at the time. But let's not just pick on that one case. That is the one where the stigma attached itself to Cressida Dick. All the way along, Cressida has overseen 40,000 police officers and police staff, and we have had 6 years of Brexit. We've had 2 years of toxic COVID. And now we've had 7 weeks of Partygate. I personally believe that Britain has been taken over by the bloody lunatics. We have all these important issues that we should be concerning about, but like a pack of hyenas and circling vultures, Cressida Dick has almost single-handedly been picked on and bullied. And there are certain sections of the mainstream media that almost every week and every weekend have demanded Cressida Dick's resignation. Even at the Sarah Everard vigil, and I looked at all the officers there, statements, and I stood 100% behind the Met and Cressida Dick that day when everyone was asking her and demanding her resignation. And I said to the country, I bet you within 10 to 14 days, the Met will be completely exonerated. Within 10 days, the Met was completely exonerated. Listening to your open story and everyone else, including Mark White, I know Mark White anyway, saying about the Everard situation, the Sarah Everard murder, the vigil Cressida Dick was told by the Prime Minister and also the Home Secretary to police it under COVID regulations. She did that. She did it sensitively by sending female officers there. Then activist groups came along with their loud hailers at a vigil for a murdered woman, started shouting, being belligerent, and the police would either stand by and allow this to happen or try and resolve it. They tried to resolve it, and guess who was to blame? The Metropolitan Police and Cressida Dick. I don't know who is going to take over, but what I will say this, it's a poisoned chalice, and unless you're a poodle, I'm afraid anybody with any backbone will be picked on, just like Cressida Dick was picked on, and a good woman and a good leader of the Metropolitan Police has been forced out. And for what? They're about to do the same, or trying to do the same to Boris Johnson. It's a leak, drip, feed into the media, which then causes people into a frenzy.
Norman, thank you ever so much for your contribution. And it's good to hear someone actually coming out and stridently defending Cressida Dick.